Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to start the topic gravitation. So this is just the introduction part for this topic, which is called as gravitation. Now, let me tell you the real life examples where you can see the phenomena which is we call it as gravity or gravitation, right? So you see the planets going around the sun, the moon going around the earth, isn't it? The objects falling straight to the surface of the earth or straight to the center of the earth, isn't it? So what are all these phenomena? So let us see some pictures before going into detailed discussion. Okay, so as you can see, the planets including earth, Mars, any planet, okay, so they go around the sun, and as you can see the moon also that goes around the earth. So what is the thing happening over here? Why they are not moving away, far away from each other? Why they are means connected to each other? Why they are on the same particular space and they are interacting with each other? So all these things. And now the next picture over here, as you can see, Sir Isaac Newton was the first person who actually believed that yeah, some phenomena must be there and which is common to each and every object in this particular universe, right? So as you can see, when he noticed that the apple was falling down, then why it fell down, why it did not go sideways, or why it did not go upward, why it fell down? So all these things means planets revolving around the sun, moon revolving around the earth, object falling straight down to the surface of the earth, that is towards the center of the earth. So these things, with all these things going around, Sir Isaac Newton thought that now there must be some similar thing or similar phenomena connected to all these, right, or happening with which is common to all of the phenomena. So what was that? So he said that there must be some force, there must be some force which keeps on acting on the objects, so that force is nothing but force of attraction. That force is nothing but force of attraction, or we can say that Sir Isaac Newton stated that yeah, that force of attraction is nothing but the force of gravitation or gravitational force which keeps the body interacting with each other, so that force of attraction over here, the force of attraction is nothing but the force acting on each and every object in this universe, that is between sun and planet, or sun and earth, or earth and the moon, right, or the apple and the surface of the earth, or apple and the earth. So every object in this particular universe is experiencing or exerting force of attraction on each other. That's it. So that is the force or force of gravity, which we call it, is the reason behind the interaction between the bodies, that is they are interacting with each other, which keeps them interacting throughout the universe, right? So let us see how does that work and what is the concept behind it and what is the mathematical proof behind it. Okay, now here is one example. In order to understand the force of gravity or the force interacting between two bodies or the force of attraction between two bodies, there is one example. As you can see, the person is revolving or whirling a ball tied through a string, and that person is holding the one end of the string, right, and at the other end there is a ball attached to it or fixed to the string. Now as you can see, when he rotates or whirls the stone or the ball, that ball moves in a circular path, right, until unless he releases the thread, that ball keeps on rotating, on the circular path, right. Now as soon as he releases the thread, the ball will be moving straight or moving or flying away straight tangent to that circular path. So what I am saying is, if this is the circular path or the circular track on which the ball or the object keeps on rotating because of the person pulling that ball inside, and if he releases the ball or the stone, that stone flies straight off the path, right, that this path would be the tangent to the circular path. Why does that happen? Now let me tell you. When the person was whirling the stone or the ball, okay, around him with the help of the thread, he was pulling the ball or the stone at each and every moment towards the center. That person was the center who is revolving or whirling the ball around him with the help of the thread, right? So that person is the center, and towards the center the ball is pulled at each and every moment when it is covering the circular track. Now as soon as he releases the thread, there is no more force acting, there is no more pulling of the ball or the stone towards the center of the circular path. So therefore the stone or the ball flies off straight from the track or the path, right? And that path would be tangent to the circular track, as you can see, right? Tangent means normal to the radius, normal to the radius at each and every point. Okay, if it releases over here, it will fly off straight over here. If it releases over here, it will fly off straight over here. If it releases over here, it will fly straight off from that particular point. So as you can see, these all are normal to the radius or the radius of this circular path, right? So let us see, and what are the terms related to this, and what are the terms given to this particular phenomena. Let us see that. So as we have seen the example where the person is whirling the ball or the stone attached to one end of the thread, and the other end is held by the person, and he is whirling the stone or the ball. So at each and every point of the circular track, the stone or the ball is being pulled towards the center. That force which is responsible for the ball or the stone to continuously move on a circular track without deviating it from the circular track is nothing but centripetal force. We call it centripetal force. Centripetal. This centripetal meaning is nothing but center seeking force. Center seeking force means the force which keeps the, or which pulls the body or the ball or the stone towards the center. I hope that is clear to you, right? Now this centripetal force acts on the body which is revolving, which is rotating on a circular track of fixed radius. So this centripetal force must act on the body which is on a circular track motion, right? So this centripetal force acts on the body acting towards the center. So that keeps the body on the fixed circular track. As soon as this centripetal force is gone or released, then the path or the track of the particular stone, ball or any object moving on a circular track will be lost. That is, it will straight fly off. It will straight fly off from the circular track, right? Now, as you can see the picture over here, there is a person, okay, whirling the stone or ball tied at one end of the string, and the other end is held by the person over here, right? So as you can see, the whirling of the stone is on the circular track, right? And there is a constant force acting on the particular object, that is ball or stone, that is pulling towards the center. As soon as the person releases the thread, the object flies off straight from the circular track, right? So suppose suppose this is the circular track, okay, this is the circular track, and its radius is r, and the speed, suppose the speed of the revolving object or the ball or the stone is v. Speed is v. Now why I said speed? Because the velocity changes. Speed remains constant throughout the track, that is v, but the direction at each and every point changes, right? At each and every point changes. It has to change, otherwise the track or the direction or the you can say path won't be circular, isn't it? So at each and every point the direction has to change. So direction changes, therefore velocity changes. Now velocity changes means acceleration, right? Velocity changes means acceleration. So speed is v due to change in direction, velocity changes, right? Now velocity changes means, therefore acceleration comes into the picture, okay? When there is change in acceleration, there is acceleration which we need to discuss, right? So acceleration comes into the picture. Now, what is that acceleration of the body which is moving on a circular track, okay, circular track of fixed radius r? So, that acceleration over here is known as centripetal acceleration, because the force was centripetal force. Because of that, there is centripetal acceleration, and that centripetal acceleration over here for the object or the body moving on a circular track with constant speed v and fixed radius r is nothing but v square by r, v square by r. V square by r is the acceleration magnitude, okay, acceleration, that is which we call it as centripetal acceleration of the object or the body which is moving on a circular track of fixed radius r and constant speed v, right. So, this acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration. Let us denote it by AC, centripetal acceleration, where C stands for centripetal acceleration. AC equals to v square by r, v square by r. So, this is our centripetal acceleration of the object moving on a circular track, right. Now, if this is the acceleration of the object moving on a circular track which is experiencing constant force at each and every point when it is moving throughout the circular track, then according to Newton's second law, according to Newton's second law of motion, I hope you remember this, because which we have already discussed in the topic motion, right, motion and Newton's laws of motion, right. So, according to Newton's second law of motion, if a body is having mass m and it has acceleration a, and that acceleration is due to force, right, and the body is experiencing force F, body having mass m and having acceleration a due to the force experienced by it F. So, the relation between among these quantities would be F equals to ma. So, F equals to ma is according to Newton's second law. So, over here if we apply Newton's second law and we say that if the acceleration of the object moving on a circular path is AC equals to v square upon r, then and the body's mass, let us suppose body's mass is m, then what can we write? Centripetal force or gravitational force, as we have already said that the force acting between any two objects or the force which governs the motion of the bodies in this universe is nothing but centripetal force or gravitational force. In this particular circular motion of the object which is in circular track is, we call it as centripetal force, but the force which governs the motion or the force which keeps on acting on any object in this universe, that is attractive force, which we also call it as gravitational force, right. So, F equals to m v square by r according to Newton's second law of motion, So, the centripetal force or the gravitational force or the attractive force also you can say, because the force always acts towards the center over here, as you can see, right. So, the centripetal force or the gravitational force acting on the body of mass m moving on a circular track of radius r with constant speed v is nothing but mv square by r, and this mv square by r is also called as centripetal force. I hope that is clear to you, right. So, we will see now what is the gravitational force between any two objects, right, any two objects of different masses or same mass, okay, in this particular universe, okay. So, that was all about our gravitation. We will see the detail of this particular thing in the next lecture. Thank you.